This is Caribbean Vibes.
Up to this present time in Hiroshima, people still ain't get over that disaster. And this time it threatens to be 1,000,000 times more. Lord Father, is this the end of the universe? It hurts so bad. Whoa. It makes me sad. Whoa. It brings pain, pain, pain. Long inside I feel pain. Deep inside I feel pain. The Father said unto us, peace on earth, goodwill, not oppress and plunder, segregate and kill. White is my color, still remains a barrier. Can't we live in peace and harmony with each other? It hurts so bad, oh, when we fight each other. It makes me sad, oh, it brings pain, pain, pain. Long inside I feel pain. Deep inside I feel pain. So many weird inventions, calling them nuclear weapons. Murder man, woman, and children. Peace, love, and understanding seem to have lost their meaning. There's only power mankind seeking. The world today seems to be one ball of confusion. Yes. Like man only interested in causing destruction.
This is Caribbean Vibes.
Look at the massacre that took place in Lebanon. Yes. It's plain to see it is a hopeless situation. Most of the world leaders don't try to come together. The world could plunge into disaster. Today's headlines are shocking. Thousands and thousands dying, like World War III is in the making. The world today seems to be one ball of confusion. Yes. Like man only interested in causing destruction. destruction. Finger on the button, and Lord knows what will happen. Is the whole universe they threaten? Maybe they don't remember the bomb in Hiroshima. In history, it's the worst disaster. That's why the world today seems to be one ball of confusion. Yes, like man only interested in causing destruction.
This is Caribbean Vibes.
In the Falkland, Argentina, and Great Britain, yes, it came to blows over Rapper and Sheep Island. Where's the United Nations in this volatile situation while discussing peace among nations? They cannot find a solution. We speed into destruction while there's no peace on the horizon. The world today seems to be one ball of confusion. Yes, like man only interested in causing destruction. Like power only comes out of the barrel of a gun. Yes, it's plain to see it is a hopeless situation.
This is Caribbean Vibes.
All right, so for those of you who are joining me, let me say thank you very much. I am on YouTube. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, you are seeing subscribe. That's because I put up subscribe so that you would subscribe to the page. I am right here. All right. I'm having some serious technical difficulties. Somebody is saying to me, I have to be careful now more than ever on what I am saying and how I'm saying what I'm saying because they're targeting the page, they're targeting the page, they're targeting the page. So when you saw subscribers up and the music was playing, this page wasn't frozen. Is that for me, I was just making sure that everything is poised and put in place so that you can hear me properly and you can see me properly. Cool? I was telling you about Mr. Griffith and his announcements, his statements on a program today that that caught my attention, and I want to play part of it for you. All right, I want to play part of it for you, Mr. Gary Griffith. And then I saw in the news a while ago, I got a message from my aunt, and I want to say good evening to my aunt. She's always somebody, a stickler for making sure that you're talking thing that makes sense. Auntie Debbie, thanks. Auntie Debbie always on my back. Make sure you're talking thing that makes sense. And you're not just talking thing because you want to talk. It's that people who just come on a platform and talk because they want to talk. They like to hear themselves. You understand? And that is a fact, you know. I don't know about you, but the reality of it is that social media has reached a point now where people just like to hear themselves, you know. There's some people just like to hear themselves. They don't care if they're talking thing that makes sense. And if it relevant, real, true, they don't care about that. What they care about is that they like to hear themselves, and it's all about them, and it's all about making sure I hear a woman do a live. I need to touch on it. I don't really touch on people when they do their live and thing, but I want to touch on this one. I hear a lady do a live, and she was talking about Dr. Rowley and the situation that he found himself in, and and it is, and that when she finished all of that, she come on to talk about, I was going through my situation, and Dr. Rowley never said anything, he never reached out to me. What? You serious? I say, look now. Look, let me find something else to listen to. So, Newsday spoke to the Antigua Barbuda Minister of Legal Affairs, Public Service and Labor. Right? So they spoke to him. So he is also, who is also the country's Attorney General. He is the person who would be aware of the situation that Dr. Rowley would have found himself in. All right? He supported Dr. Rowley's account of events. So he supported Dr. Rowley. So you see people who saying, I hear a man call a radio station and say, he do believe Dr. Rowley. That is he right not to believe, Then I hear him say that, what, Dr. Rowley, what boy? No, I didn't want to go there. So the Attorney General of Antigua Barbuda saying that what Dr. Rowley, the account of the events that Dr. Rowley gave was correct. Rowley's account of events, it was supported by the Attorney General of Antigua Barbuda. All right? He was approached by Newsday, and he said, well, to be quite honest with you, we do not wish to all right, okay. But I want to there's something that he said here. I want to point out. All right. Antigua, a few days ago, with respects to former Prime Minister Dr. Rowley, it is unfortunate to deeply, right? It's unfortunate what happened to Dr. Rowley. He's saying it's unfortunate. All the people who saying it didn't happen, all the people who trying to make a bacchanal and say about he trying to get attention and all these different things, the Attorney General of Barbuda, Antigua Barbuda, is saying that, hey, it did happen. It did happen. But there is something that I wanted to touch on, right? Yeah, there's something I wanted to touch on. And what is that? Right? So the other thing too is that the Antigua minister said that we did not put Dr. Rowley on any Interpol list. They didn't do it. All right? They did not do it. But I want you to hear this though. I wanted you to hear what Gary Griffith had to say. All right? I want you to hear what Gary Griffith had to say. Where is it? So I want you to hear what Gary Griffith had to say. So take a listen. Take a listen to Gary. All right? Take a listen to Mr. Griffith and what he had to say.
Within every system, there are rules and laws, and those who enforce them, obviously because love in the hierarchy is non-significant. So we find it necessary and highly important to gather our civil rights and surround this world with a few bewildered knights who have full control. But if it is with fear to trust and guardians be to protect us,
the National Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, how Interpol works, it is absolutely, can the previous Prime Minister state that it may be some type of political involvement. It is absolutely impossible that any political body in any one of the 190 odd member states that are affiliated with Interpol can just send a document and forward it to Interpol. It does not work that way. That is impossible. It must come through the National Central Bureau head, that being the Commissioner of Police. So I knew this because I was the National Central Bureau head. So it must come through that NCB. And there is, as Gavin said, there is a liaison officer and operation officer who represents Interpol, who's from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. That person has dialogue with Interpol on a regular basis. Interpol is not an MI6, it's not an operational unit. This perception that Interpol turns up here with 5 and 6 persons to arrest individuals, it doesn't work that way. It is a communication network, it's a sharing of information. In fact, as Commissioner of Police, we were bombarded by Interpol based on COVID, where Interpol, they were packaging information for basic standard operational procedures for the police throughout the world, and it will be sent. So that is how Interpol operates. Having said that, there are two aspects with Interpol. So it's a really sharing of information from different bodies, sent it to Interpol, and Interpol will then send it back out to other countries on a need-to-know basis. There's the red notice. That red notice is one where there's someone there's enough evidence for someone to be arrested. So a red notice goes out and that person is now flagged. And you're looking for this culprit now. And that could usually come from the home country. So a home country of a citizen who has escaped and there's a major criminal act that he or she would have committed. You send it to Interpol. Interpol sends it out to all the countries. So as soon as you land in an airport, they can apprehend you. That is the red notice. There's the other aspect of that person just being a suspect based on information that can come from other countries. And this is where I want to get into, I know you all had A and B this morning, but there is a C. There's an option C, and I think Gavin was alluding to it. And I'm not saying that this is this scenario. I'm not here to cast anything on anyone, but there is a C, whereas all persons in the 66 votes, they are correct. The previous prime minister is not a fool. He's not going to make up something like this, and nobody in Antigua will just tell him a lie. So I am 100% sure that what Keith Rowley is stating actually happened. So those 44 persons are correct. The 22 persons who voted for, said the police service is correct. The commissioner of police is not a fool as well. He is the head of the NCB. He will have all the information, and the Trinidad and Tobago police service will be able to look and see, we have not submitted any red flag or notice about Keith Rowley to Interpol. So to your 66 voters, you're all correct. But there is a C. The C has to do with either, sometimes it involves information being shared to Interpol does not necessarily have to come from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. It can come from other law enforcement or intelligence agencies from a country, and that can get to Interpol. It can be inappropriate because sometimes what is required is that information should really be sent to the NCB, who becomes the conduit to pass information on to Interpol. But there are other law enforcement agencies, for example, the SSA, the Defense Force Intelligence Unit, and so forth. They can also be involved in communicating with Interpol without the knowledge of the NCB. I think that can be inappropriate, though. I think that really and truly should have been fed to the police service so the police will know what is happening. There's the other element of C, whereby another country may have red flagged an individual in another country and pass it on to Interpol. Interpol is not obligated to forward that information to that home country. So, for example, let me take it away from this scenario. If somebody is from Barbados and there's something, and the United States has a red flag of somebody in Barbados, they can pass it on to Jamaica, to Interpol. Interpol will inform Jamaica because they know that individual is heading to Jamaica. The Barbados police doesn't have to know. So the information that the TTPS would have sent is accurate. TTPS did not send any information, and they have nothing on their system to verify. But what Trinidad and Tobago has on their system is on a need-to-know basis practically. So there's also the possibility that another country may have done something on an individual and forwarded it to Interpol, who would have then sent it to other countries, because Interpol, as I said, they are not obligated to forward any type of information about any red flag suspect to the home country.
So
okay, go ahead.
Richard. So it's possible that it could have some truth in it. In terms of his name being on a list, but is it also possible that his name could have been removed from the list since?
Yes, that is true, and that is where it is. And Gavin, feel free to jump in anytime. And that is the point. If it is that there's data from the Interpol based on a third country, the United States, the United Kingdom, they pass it on to Interpol. Interpol can now red flag that individual, not a red notice. There's a difference, as I said, the red notice is to arrest, but there's also somebody who is a suspect, he's red flagged. And Interpol has it, and Interpol could pass it on to other countries knowing where the individual is traveling to keep an eye on him or her. But the home country does not have to know. Interpol after as well can then check, and then after red flagging him, can realize it is not enough information and we have removed him. But I think it is hardly likely that a previous prime minister would be red flagged and be held and be told that, and the persons would not have known that he was removed from the list. So I hardly think it could be that scenario. But as I said, there is also this option C, where persons can be red flagged by another country, an external country, a third party, and they forward it to Interpol, and Interpol will give it to other countries, because I want to re-emphasize, Interpol is not obligated to forward information about any person red flag to that home country.
So a question was asked in the chat by Scorpion. If there is in fact a list, shouldn't all countries be privy to that list?
So you heard that, right? But then, so Guy Griffith is alluding to hear what? He may not be on an Interpol list in Trinidad and Tobago, but he could be on an Interpol list in Antigua and Barbuda. Which doesn't mean Trinidad and Tobago don't have to know about that. But then we heard where Antigua and Barbuda is saying that, hey, we don't have the man on no list here. The man is not on any watch list here. So you see that talk? strike that out. Strike that out one time. He not on no list here. We don't have him on no list here. So, yeah, what? You see that list? So they're trying to say he on? That we may have created some list with him? No. We haven't created any list with him. So he's not on our list. He's not on our list. Interesting, eh? I tell you, this story not going to end just like how they feel it going to end, you know. It is not going to end the way some people want it to end. I wonder if you're all hearing me. It is not going to end the way they want it to. They want this to be swept under the carpet, you know. Yeah, they want this to be swept under the carpet very, very quietly. Very, very quietly they want it to be swept under the carpet. But it's not going to be swept under the carpet. Why? Let me play this for you. Everybody know Watchman, right? Everybody know Watchman. Who don't know Watchman? If you don't know Watchman, you'll know about Watchman tonight. Watchman was a Calypsonian policeman in Trinidad and Tobago. He sends voice notes from time to time to educate and inform Trinidadians on policing and other issues where policing is concerned. So listen to Watchman.
Kid Rowley through the airport in Antigua. And to tell you there is much more. Hello, my people. This is Dr. Wayne Head, the Watchman, on the 22nd of July, 2025. And I want to delve into the Interpol watch list and the alleged stopping of Dr. Kid Rowley through the airport in Antigua. And to tell you there is much more than what has been said. And in that I mean that the Commissioner of Police had made a statement with respect to the incident in which he indicated clearly that a check of all records showed no evidence of Dr. Kid Rowley being placed on a watch list from Interpol. Now, that may sound to be complete, but that's not the whole truth and the facts. There are a lot of things that you need to understand about Interpol and how it operates to understand that it is quite possible that Dr. Rowley could have been flagged and stopped and treated in that manner because somebody put his name into the system. Now, let me start by saying, technically, there is no watch list. People use that colloquial term to mean that your name is on a list where they can watch and see it, basically. But Interpol operates as an international police organization where there's cooperation and coordination amongst law enforcement entities in different countries to ensure that criminals and those who have other bad intentions cannot slip through the cracks from one country to another. So Interpol has a system that is called a notice system, the Interpol notice. And notices are given out throughout the entire world. Once a notice is put into one country's system, it is reflected all over the world. So, what kind of notices are there? You have red notices where they're seeking to arrest a person who is wanted for prosecution or running away from a sentence. The red notice will inform all countries about that person. We have to assume that in the Brent Thomas case, a red notice was issued to inform the Barbados authorities that Mr. Thomas was in Barbados and was wanted. That's a separate issue that we're going to deal with, but we have to assume that a red notice was done in that instance. You have blue notices in which they collect information on the identity and the location and the activities of particular persons who coming from one country to another, so they could track them, especially if they believe that they'll be engaged in some criminal activity. You have yellow notices that they use to locate missing persons, persons who don't know who they are or where they are. Black notice to identify dead bodies. Green notice, right, that they could inform a country about any person or thing that could be an impending threat. Orange notices to warn about some event that could happen, that could have an impact on the country that, or any other country in the world that receives the notice. Silver notices that to trace criminal assets. You have purple. They have a number of notices, all of which serve different purposes, but the main purpose is to warn other countries about individuals who will be traveling through their countries. And once these notices are issued, there are strict protocols in Interpol where it is put into the system and flagged to everybody. So therefore, if you look for any of these notices and you don't find any evidence, you can easily say, well, Dr. Rowley was not flagged because his name doesn't appear in any of the notices. But that is only on the surface. Underneath, there is an informal system called diffusion, in which they share the same information, but not with everybody. One country can share that information with another country. And even though technically it's supposed to be put into the system in the same notice form, it doesn't always work that way. And sometimes countries deliberately do it informally, but it does not appear in the system to show that the person has been flagged. And it is quite possible that that could be the process that was used. So therefore, that informal system serves to defeat the entire purpose of having a strict regime of entry and collation and referral and review that Interpol attempts to use. But it can go in and it can go from one country to another. So let's say Trinidad to Antigua, to inform them under the diffusion system to watch Dr. Rowley or somebody else who may come in the country. And it goes further than that. It becomes even more informal because people have contacts in other countries. Law enforcement entities in one country like Trinidad will have contacts in Barbados and other countries. They train with them, they interact with them, and they could informally tell them to go ahead and flag somebody. So I call my partner in Antigua and I tell him, check on that man there for me because I feel he coming to do something and we want to know where he going and what he going to do. And that person could put the individual's name into, let's say, the airport system. So whenever their passport appears there, it is flagged immediately. But it's not part of the formal Interpol system that the commissioner looked under. Additionally to that, you have informal practices by these officials where they bypass the established procedures and they use methods that are not recognized by law or by process. And we could talk about the Brent Thomas case, where they used the CARICOM warrant system that they have not yet implemented into law in all the countries to make it effective, but they use the same process by which to go and arrest Brent Thomas in Barbados and bring him back on a plane from them back into Trinidad and Tobago. That is why the Barbados authorities were talking about, oh, the gentleman agreed to surrender and go back. But he couldn't do that if you were not operating on the CARICOM warrant system, which you were not, but you're using the same procedure that has not been legalized. So the bottom line is that the commissioner probably does not know of these informal processes that exist in which Dr. Rowley could have been flagged and targeted for somebody checking. Now the question is why? It could be that one country suspects that he might be engaged in some activity that they want to track, because it doesn't have to be Trinidad and Tobago with a diffusion notice or an informal notification. It could be the United States. It could be the United Kingdom. They could go on a one-on-one. Let's say United States may submit these diffusion notices or contacts to 5 different countries about a particular individual or individuals. And each of those countries don't know that the Americans are communicating with the others. So it's a one-on-one basis. And that could be a way of tracking persons when they come into and out of the countries. And the worst way is the totally informal method by which people talk to their partner in another country and get them to flag people, tag them, and identify them and surveil them. And let me tell you, Dr. Rowley himself, as a former Prime Minister, knows or ought to know that these things are possible when we're talking about intelligence systems, law enforcement agencies, and government processes. This is part of what happens all the time, and people don't talk about it. But now we're talking about it because Dr. Rowley got flagged. Now the question would be, what do we do now? Well, the commissioner ought to ask the correct questions, and somebody should ask Dr. Rowley more additional questions as to what exactly happened, and how did he know that he was flagged or tagged? This is serious because we had the Brent Thomas matter where Mr. Rowley was the Prime Minister at the time, and they did an unlawful process to bring back a person, not that person alone, but several other persons were you brought back and forth using that same method. So let's see the investigation done into everything so we can know all that's happening underneath. I hold no brief for Dr. Rowley or anybody, but I did not like the way that he threw the police service under the bus, in my opinion. He put the police service on blast as if they were intentionally part of the process of flagging him and tagging him. They might be, and he might very well know where it's coming from, because as a former Prime Minister, he will know where all the bones are buried. This is Wayne Head, the Watchman.
All right, you just heard Mr. Wayne Head. My question to you this evening is, do you think that this warrants a proper investigations? Do you think, because after listening to Mr. Wayne Head and you hear Ms. Bissessa calling on Dr. Rowley to apologize, and all the things that you hear Mr. Gary Griffith a while ago, I am asking you, do you think that this warrants a proper, not no, okay, yeah, no, a proper investigation? Do you think so? Do you think that this should be properly investigated? So I want your calls. I want to hear you. I want to hear your views. I want you to call in on 464-7003, 464-7003, and tell me, do you think that, what are your thoughts about all of this that's going on? How you feel about it? What's your thoughts about it? All right, 464-7003. That is the number to call, 464-7003. Do you believe that this warrants a proper, not, we went through the list and he not on the list? No, we want something proper. We want something proper. So my question to you this evening is, do you agree that we need a proper investigation into this matter? Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Mommy. Oh, mommy.
Master Google.
Talk to me.
I wanted to go further. Did he just what you asked for? Yes, I need to find out exactly where that came from. Pastor Google, we are not stupid in Trinidad and Tobago. Pastor Google, you know, and Trinidad and Tobago know that Dr. Rowley is someone who's being recognized all over the place. And you know that, right?
Yep.
You saw even when he went to the last Caribbean, he only didn't just bend down and hold on to Dr. Rowley 2 feet and started to cry. You know what I'm telling you about? Pastor Google, just imagine the gentleman who just spoke there, the kid who just stayed there, then he come to be come back to Trinidad and be the commissioner of police because the police service still under the boss.
Hmm.
You know what I'm telling you about? You understand what the gentleman said, Pastor Google?
Loud and clear.
Because different color flags. So which one you have put Dr. Rowley into the red one or what? Hey, Pastor Google?
I don't know.
Pastor Google, this thing need to go further. And listen to me. Why it is the Prime Minister, if we have a Prime Minister in Trinidad and Tobago, asking Dr. Rowley to apologize? What Dr. Rowley did that he has to apologize, Pastor Google? What he did, Pastor Google?
He put it out on blast before they could put it on the platform.
What's that?
He put it out there before they could put it on their platform.
Pastor Google, you hit it on the nail. Pastor Google, what it is Dr. Rowley did to Trinidad and Tobago why they don't like Dr. Rowley? What it is he did, Pastor? You could tell me what it is he did.
It didn't have any corruption.
Pastor Google, you know Keith Christopher Rowley when he was the Prime Minister. He's a no-nonsense man. You could not have go with him with any nonsense, Pastor Google. You know that too. And hence the reason why they do not like Dr. Rowley. And look at he's no longer there and they still continue. Sometimes when I look at some of the television stations and they asking certain people questions, it's bothering me to hear the rubbish and the horseman you talk to speak about Dr. Rowley. Pastor Google, God is a good word. Here I'm telling you about God is a good God. Let it continue. Pastor Google, let's see how far it's going to reach and you know Dr. Rowley not a Superman. You know that, right?
I know that for a fact.
Oh, right. I didn't know that. Okay, Pastor.
All right then, mommy. Yep, we're taking your calls. 464-7003. What is your thoughts? Do you believe that this warrant a proper investigation? Or do you think that we should leave it alone? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
I want to say that Dr. Rowley was never a person liked by these people. You remember in 2011 how they malign his name and say all kind of thing about him?
Oh, yes.
And I believe that they are the one who is responsible for doing that. They're wicked and malicious enough and vindictive to do what Dr. Rowley did. I don't care what they say. They're responsible and they should really investigate it and expose them. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your call. Hello, good evening.
Yes, hello, good afternoon, Pastor.
Good evening to you, sir.
Yes, I believe we want a proper investigation, but not from in Trinidad and Tobago. Let foreigners do the investigation.
Let foreigners do the investigation.
Yes, so some foreign entity and CARICOM and this kind of people do that investigation, not from no entity in here. Because himself cannot investigate himself. Right?
All right.
So let it be done in foreign. Someone who's going to give us the honest truth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. 464-7003, 464-7003. I'm taking your calls. Do you think that this should be investigated? Just like how they call for an investigation for just like how they call in for an investigation into other stuff. Do you think that they should call an investigation? Just hello, good evening.
Pastor, good afternoon.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I gotta call in on this one here because this one here, it is not making a lot of sense. Dr. Rowley is not a mad person. and they want to paint him like he's a madman. And you know what I'm upset about? We have certain talk show hosts on certain programs on evenings disrespecting Dr. Rowley. Dr. Rowley was a prime minister of this country, and I think this present government has a lot to do with what's going on. Because you hear them saying all kinds of things about Dr. Rowley. The man is not in office again. All around the country, right? What do we expect from our citizens when they're misbehaving? When we have leaders in our country, people in the parliament saying these things about a former prime minister, and the leader of the present government says nothing to quell what's happening here. All they're saying they don't know. Dr. Rowley is not a madman. He's not a madman. And they have to understand they're dividing this country. These people are dividing Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, a lot of people upset with the way the election was called. A lot of us is upset. But at the same time, you cannot be disrespecting Dr. Rowley like that. We now want to stand for this nonsense. This UNC government needs they better get it act together. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. And continue to take your calls 464-7003. So we're talking about if you believe that this warrant a proper investigation. Hello, good evening.
Hey, good night, Pastor. Pleasant good night. Good night to all the viewers and all those who are listening. Pastor, come back again to last night. I don't think the Honorable Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley, has to apologize. I don't think so. And then based on the information that you shared with us there by the watchman, right? You have to figure out now who we have to, as I say, a proper investigation has to be conducted to figure out who really put Dr. Rowley on this watch list. And we have to find out why. Why? Because for the Attorney General for Antigua, Barbuda to state, because I read the article when you pointed it out to us early on, I went up and looked up and read it. He said clearly that Dr. Rowley did not misstated anything. He did not misstated anything. It's clearly what
he didn't lie. Exactly. That's what the man say. He did not lie.
Now, something that when I heard that, when you was reading the article, my eyes opened. Because when I went and read the article, the reporter asked the Antigua Attorney General if we have to mend any fences because of this broken relationship here. He said no, they have nothing to mend. You have to mend your defenses in your country. Trinidad and Tobago. They're written. So what that tells me further, this thing now has caused Caribbean countries to look at us different now. Anyway, because they're saying, but if they're sinister to their own people, imagine what they could do to us. And they calling us in their bacchanal. So this whole thing now, you don't look at it as in Trinidad bound, but you have to look at it as a Caribbean involved now, the Caribbean and this nonsense. So the two persons again who could possibly put Mr. Rowley on the list is the police commissioner, which he came out and stated he ain't no about no list, and the lady who does sit on the Security Council and the Attorney General. Have to be one of those two things. But Kamala came out and said lastly, I want to say that what Rowley said was a baseless claims. How she knows that, I do not know, but apparently this lady's sleeping. She's sleeping. So I don't know if she said that or who said that, because right now she's still sleeping. Have a good night, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I just want to ask the callers, when you're all calling in, make sure that your volume up now, because my volume on all, and people saying that you all are very low.
Pastor.
All right, let's take this caller. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Pastor Google.
Aye.
Boy, I thought I wasn't true, and I just sent a long voice message there. Lord Pastor Google, what will happen to us in this place, boy? Tell me now. Tell me what will happen to us because there is no justice in this country. We're going through 5 years with these people already. They come and they go back, they're going back there again by the people who allow them to be there. They're crying every day. You're hearing when you're traveling or whenever I travel, you're hearing, oh God, we're suffering. You know, since they're with me here, nobody say we're suffering. Grocery price are dropping, going higher. You're hearing none of them saying we're suffering. Dr. Rowley, are we suffering? I know we was going to lose this election. I dreamt it. I know what it is they was doing all the time. And I'm telling my husband, I said, listen, when you see if the PNM lost this and they come into power, they go clean up all the act. And it's the same thing I say, it's the same thing happening. You hear? God has revealed things to me and he's showing me what's happening. We're in trouble in this place, you know. I don't know what will happen this time. The people of Trinidad and Tobago, because the law is on their side, nobody to stand for them. What they do, Dr. Rowley? I only hope he's a smart man and he approve. You hear? But even though he approve and he take it to court, it make no sense. It make no sense. Because they're winning everything. Everything them do is right. Right? But God is not sleeping. And I'm going to continue to pray again for the next 5 years. Right? But God is not an evil God, you know. He's not an evil God. Them was in power, Dr. Rowley never takes security away from them. He never do it to none of them. Look what this lady is doing now. Lord, all I could say, God help us to go through this 5 years. Help us, please. Pastor Google, I want to pray for you, you know. We have to pray for you because remember, anybody coming their way, they're blocking them, you know. You have to be careful, you know. Cover by the blood of Jesus. Cover yourself. Let your church cover you each time. Let the prayers come up and pray for you, Pastor Google. Because yes, you have your own program, right? Nobody to tell you what to say. But you have to look out because if they could do Dr. Rowley as a prime minister, that, who they wouldn't do it again? Two. Pastor Google talk to me now. Right now I'm hurting, you know. Tell me who they wouldn't do it to again. My God, woe beyond this place. Right? Woe beyond this place. Look at KVV land. Look what is happening in this place, Pastor Google. And these people still have a heart. You jump on God back and pretending you're for God. And look the evil you're doing. Upon the people who you tell you love. Pastor Google, I want you to take this number. So as I tell you, when I get through on certain things, I have to pass something on. So please send your number for me. When that time reach, I could be able to get in contact with you. Okay?
All right,
hello?
Mother. Yes, Mother. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay.
You all have a blessed one.
Yes,
God bless Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you very much. All right, so taking your calls. Do you think that this deserves a thorough investigation, or do you think that, you know, just leave it alone? Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Pastor Google.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Yeah, Princess Town.
Yeah, what's going on, Princess Town?
Yeah, this Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, all the time she can come to talk about the SOS, but she come out to talk about Dr. Rowley, the good Dr. Rowley. So much of people in the UNC, it is alleged that have more things to push it to investigate than the good Dr. Rowley. But as I say, and I always say, God is a good God, and He will be the true judge of all this that is happening with Trinidad and Tobago. Pastor Google, we all will pray for the best for you and our country. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Look forward to all continuing to pray for me. All right, so we continue to take your calls. 464-7003. 464-7003. What is your view? What is your view? You heard Watchman. You heard Mr. Gary Griffith. What is your view of what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago? What is your view? Call me and tell me what is your view. I'm looking forward to hearing you this evening on Constructive Talk because, you know, we talking, I talking, everybody talking. We're looking at, and while I'm waiting for your calls, under the UNC, you used to hear them talking about job for the boys. Job for the boys, job for the boys. Job for the boys under the PNM, job for the boys and the families. Faris father-in-law, this one, that one. Councillors getting TPEP contract, this, that, the next. But only realize that I heard our talk show host this morning talking about a minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities' wife on a board. His wife is on a board, but only want to talk about job for the boys? Really? Hello, good evening.
Pastor Google. Yes. Pastor Google.
Yes, mommy.
They could try to drag down Chief Christopher Rowley name in mud. But I'll tell you one thing, that mud will never see him. You hear what I'm telling you about, right? They will never see him. I just was seeing something a while ago there. Pastor Google, who's supposed to really run in Trinidad and Tobago? We have any government or governing Trinidad and Tobago at this present time, Pastor Google?
I don't know, you know. I don't know.
Pastor Google, since these people went in there, Pastor Google, you hearing anything at all? You hearing anything at all, Pastor Google? All that you're hearing right now is who minister, wife, auntie, tanty on state board. You hear me?
Yeah.
I got to hear me. Pastor Google.
But under but under the PNM, they were coming out and saying that was wrong.
You see what
it doesn't matter if you're qualified or not. They found it to be wrong.
You see what taking place, Pastor Google? You see what taking place? Pastor Google, that is what they wanted. That is what Trinidad and Tobago wanted because they was warned. Pastor Google, right now, the cussing right now, you hear what I'm telling you about because they was promised for 10%, right? They get me 10% yet? They get any 10% yet, Pastor Google?
No.
Pastor Google, I don't know. Is this government going to make the 5 years? See what I'm let me repeat it. I do not know if they're going to make the 5 years. I don't even know if we have a prime minister here right now in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know where she's working from. If she's sleeping on the job, nobody knows. The people who are running here right now is the comedy fest shows, men and them. Yeah? I said a comedian running here right now. And as I said today, Mr. Watchman, thanks. You need to come back home and give the commissioner of police some advice. Pastor Google, I gone.
Thank you very much, Mommy. Boy, I don't know, huh?
All things work for our good. Though sometimes.
So you condemn somebody for doing something. You condemn them, you say, yeah, what's going on now? That you all did was wrong. But now you come into office and you're doing the same thing. You put your wife as on a board. Eh? You put your wife on a board, and then you come to tell us that she qualified. That's what you're doing now. I remember when Mr. Manning put Miss Hazel Manning on the board of education, as the Minister of Education. People had the worst to say. Up to now, I hear a radio announcer this morning calling her breakfasts. Right? But what it is going on now? Only one radio announcer here talk about it. One. And I gave him that bly. I given him that you know. Yeah, we give ratings. Yeah, you talk about it. But how much other media houses?
Coming out and asking for him to apologize. I think that something was off in that because a former prime minister makes such a statement. I think the thing, you were looking into it. You like to have investigation into everything. So it should have been that we will look into it. Hello?
Yeah.
Should have been that we will look into it and so forth. The commissioner come out. And I remember when Dr. Rowley was prime minister and he traveled, there was a certain minister now who was an MP used to put up all kind of false things that he get detained here and he get detained there. I don't know if you can remember that, a lot of false accusation concerning that. And seeing out at the state of emergency now and when this happened. And I am thinking out loud, was it a conspiracy, but it went wrong because of how the government in the country he was in treated that it was for? Was it something leading up to probably try to arrest Dr. Rowley under the state of emergency in this country? Because we know for the longest while they have been trying all kind of tricks. It didn't have nothing they didn't do. The only thing left for them to do is to arrest Dr. Rowley. And under the state of emergency, they can do something like that. So what is a conspiracy, a plot, but it didn't turn out the way they wanted it to, because Dr. Rowley would not come and lie and say this happened in that country. So when you had to say, oh, he lies, kind of foolish, people will think that he mad because there's a country to say this never happened. So he's not a madman to come out and say this happened to me and that happened to me because he just wanted to be heard. No. I think the people who are thinking that are the foolish ones. Give us more intelligence on that. One thing we know, he's not a mad person. And one thing we know he cares about is his reputation and his good name. He cherished that a lot. That is my contribution for now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. So I continue to take all your calls, taking your calls. 464-7003. 464-7003. I saw someone was trying to call in. So you tried to call twice. Okay, you're now calling back. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, Pastor Google.
Hi, good evening.
Hello?
Yes, caller,
Yes,
you're on.
Google. Hello?
Yes, you're on. You have to listen to me on your phone, though.
Oh, yeah, sorry. With all that's going on with the state of emergency, Pastor Google, there's certain things that we probably pass over our heads. Any word as yet concerning you took a look. Well, they say that they had drafted this stand your ground laws and it's out for public consultation very soon. You don't have anybody who have objections to that, or that any organization in this country who have objections to that stand your ground laws?
No, I haven't heard any organization in objection to it. Not to my knowledge. I haven't heard any church, organization.
No church.
I haven't heard any Muslim, Hindu. I haven't heard anybody in opposition to it, no.
Neither the Emancipation Support, neither the Emancipation Committee.
No, what I'm objecting to.
So basically,
them object them. You hear them say
anything?
anything? You hear them say anything about the amount of CPAP workers that lost that lose their jobs?
Oh, I see.
No, did you hear them say anything?
So,
no, did you hear? You're not answering my question. Did you hear the Emancipation Committee say anything about people losing their jobs?
No, not to my knowledge.
Okay. You hear any other black freedom fighter talk about it? You know them freedom?
No, Pastor Google, no person. Everybody's silent.
Come now, you must hear from somebody, man. There must be some.
Pastor Google.
Hey, there is a black organization, I'm sure. We may not have heard them. We may not have heard. We don't hear everybody.
Pastor Google, I doesn't believe that this country is now an arm of the Republican Party in the United States of America, you know.
Well, that would they vote for?
Project 2025.
That's what they vote for.
Stand your ground laws. If you don't stand your ground laws, that will cause some serious problem.
But I saw the Minister of Homeland Security is he is starting the consultation in his community, Tunapuna. I think it's tomorrow night.
Well, I'm hoping that maybe the former MP for the area should also attend that visit and should also attend that meeting and things to put his views on that thing, because let me tell you something. This is a no. Is this country encouraging the burgeoning gun ammunition industry?
Well, brother man, wait, just now. You asking me all these questions. Did you hear your commissioner of police? Did you hear your commissioner of police said that he agrees with the stand your ground laws?
I get in a headache right now.
Well, you have a headache.
One thing, but you know what it could cause out the disadvantage? You see all those people who would be your witnesses and door-to-door salespeople? Well, they had to think twice about entering people or calling out people's premises now.
Why? Nah, man. They don't have to worry about it. They always say to us, do they not always say to us that this is not for law-abiding citizens, you know? This is for the bandits and the criminals and the persons who are nonsense. That is who this is for. This is not for the law-abiding citizens.
I thought they're supposed to get rid of the guns from the country, but instead of bringing in more guns into the country. You see where we're going from here? Well, you have a good night. All right?
Same to you, sir. Night. Thank you very much. The caller is so frustrated. He's getting real frustrated. Something as though he ready to throw his hand up in the air. But we can't throw our hands up in the air. We cannot throw our hands up in the air. The HSF report highlights higher than ever increase in the HSF fund. So the $1.7 billion that Mr. what you name? Colm Imbert left in the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. I wonder if you will hear anything from the UNC supporters with this. Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good evening.
Pastor Google, how Scotland have we African looking bad, so it all this happened after that 10 years, PNM now come under power. Scotland, all the African alone getting hamper. Why is it continuous beggy? What is the purpose PNM was in power? Why is only the African beggy for hampers? So why ain't seeing other people begging and for hampers all over the country? How about good day?
A friend of mine tell me I must hush. Don't say nothing. Just leave them, let them talk, and you will see them for who they are. It's difficult to do that to no friend. My friend who is listening, it's very difficult to do. But you're teaching me to do a new side of talk show. Just allow them to talk. Don't say anything. Relax yourself and allow them to speak. And that is what I'm trying to do. So to that caller who just called there, I know not what you speak of, sir. I don't know what you're talking about. You just come on the live. You're calling in. You say about Scotland. I don't know what you're talking about. So I will do as my friend said. Hush him out and listen. Don't say that thing. Okay? I will do such. I really don't know what you're talking about, so I can't respond. I would like to respond though, but I got advice. Behave yourself. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. I'd first like to make a contribution to what the gentleman just said before I make my original contribution.
So you know what you're talking about?
I know that he's brainwashed. Not in a disrespectful way. No, because listen to me, these services are available through every MP's office, depending on if they choose to have the initiative. The reality is there may be a huge bit of people from East Port of Spain that would have...
Who is of African descent? Who is of African descent? No, let me be real. Let us be real. The majority of persons who may be listening,
I'm trying to be diplomatic.
Yeah, but the reality of it is that the majority of people who might be living East Dry River might be of African descent. That is the reality of it.
That is my point. That is my point. So maybe the gentleman needs to canvass the whole of Trinidad and Tobago and see in Superior and wherever else, Claxton Bay, everywhere else, may have those initiatives. But added, if Kate Scotland was not doing that, then they would say, so many CPEP people from his constituency, what he doing? He only talking and he ain't doing nothing. So I want to tell the gentleman, be careful to speak without facts, because everybody does run to get these resources, regardless of, well, when I say everybody, East Indian, African, right, for the most part. So stop allowing people to write our story, because I'm positive is an Afro-Trinidadian make that comment.
You'll be surprised.
I could put my head in a block.
Nah, don't put it.
It sound like him. It sound like him. It smell like him.
It's not him.
Because we continue to allow people. Okay, so then I have no further remarks on the topic because I don't want to be disrespectful.
Okay, then.
But I want to go to what I originally called for, and I'll be brief because I spent much time on this thing, and say that, Pastor Google, I think this is by far the most serious occurrence with this government, this thing that happened with Dr. Rowley. And we really, really need to take this thing seriously, because I realize that they are trying to disarm him. They start first by removing his security. Then they did that whole Interpol thing. Then in his press conference yesterday, he mentioned that they went after his children with regards to saying that they have diplomatic passports. He said when they do the checks and they realize no passport, the UNC insists it have passport. They go again, digging. And he said he never gave his children diplomatic passports. What are they benefiting? Terrorizing this man's children. What really is the benefit of disarming this man in this way? We have to be very cautious and careful the road we're going down with this UNC government, because they pick up just where they left off in 2015, but they're on an adrenaline with it. They're on a steroid with it. And I'm watching this SOE very careful, and this situation with this prison thing. I'm watching it carefully. They picked up exactly where they left off, except it getting worse. But one other thing I want to say quickly before I go. This morning, I listened to that interview with Gary Griffith. And the one thing he said, but it didn't stay long on the point, which I felt they should have probed it a bit more. When he said there could be instances where institutions like the SSA and those things could put him on the list. And he said it should not be like this, but there could be instances where they don't inform the police commissioner, because they could do it directly through their investigations, but then they must inform the commissioner, hey, we put out this notice to Interpol. But they do have the authority to do that as individuals in that sector of the police service. So I personally believe the directive came from on top, and they possibly put him on that list. That is all I have to say. But this thing agitated me a lot. I need to take a break in a Pastor Google. I want to take a little 3 months from the politics because it's draining my chakra.
But you think about
that's my contribution.
Yeah, but you think about taking 3 months off the politics, right? Do you think that you would be able to just fall back in normal?
Yeah, I know. Only today I tell Mommy, I say, Mommy, I'm saying that. But I know because yesterday when Dr. Rowley had his press conference, I said, oh God, Pastor Google could be hot tonight. So it's just a trickle effect. So I know I might break here and there, but I need to limit it. I'll limit it because it's draining me.
But the reality of it is that, you feeling drained. You listen to the young man who called a while ago. He's sounding very frustrated, and then when you put all of this together, if I was to take a break like you, what do you think will happen? People will know what's going on.
That's true. That's it.
People will not know because right now we have 624 persons on the live. The time now is after 10 in the night, and we have 624 persons on the live. If I was to do a view on people who haven't subscribed to the page, right? There are persons who have not subscribed to the page but watching the program, They're watching the program on alone.
Of course.
And that's 1,749 persons. That's how much persons watching right now.
Yes.
Who don't subscribe, they don't want me to know they're watching them. But I have the technology to see that they're watching 1,749 persons. And if you decide to take a break, I decide to take a break, what will happen to the 1,749 persons plus the people watching on Facebook? Right? We have over 72 persons on Facebook. Right? What do you think will happen?
And look at the hour.
So you really think you should take a break?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because when he has just said that, the one thing that rang a bell, this is what happened for election. They drained the people, and it's apathy they were going for you to stay away from the polls. That is Cambridge Analytica. It was said in the court, the high court in America and the US. That is the strategy they use.
Yep.
So you're making sense. I would probably have to maybe go to church or do something to cleanse myself and just manage how I deal with it, because it really, really is something else. Anyhow, let me don't clog the line. But that is my contribution.
And yeah, I think the going to church part might be a very good option.
Yes. Yeah.
You find a
think so.
You find a good place to go and just relax yourself, take in the word, and just relax yourself a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And thanks very much for your call.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, then bye.
Okay, bye.
So the 1,749 of you who are on the live watching me, just subscribe now. What's to do with that? Subscribe to the page. Let me have the page looking good now. Please. And thanks. Just subscribe to the page. Just click subscribe and give me that love now. Don't hold back on me. What are you holding back the love for? Eh? Why are you holding back the love? Don't hold back the love now, man. Share the love. Hello, good evening.
Pastor Google, don't go off the lines. Come on, I'm watching you from Canada. Don't go off. We need the news. Don't go off. Tell the lady to come back. Don't go off.
Yeah.
You crazy?
Yeah. What part of Canada?
We need that. I work in a long time, you know.
I know. What part of Canada are you looking at me from?
Don't do that. Don't get off the line. Today I get back and my friend called me and said, "Well, we're not in Trinidad." I said, "What?" I rush home. But you're driving crazy to come home. I had to say, I ain't gonna keep no. Okay, I'm going with that.
I wanted to subscribe. I wanted to subscribe to the page, and I wanted to support me.
Well, I definitely will do that.
Thank you very much.
So how you go? Right, I have to do it because you going up. You know what happening there? All right,
I will send you the information.
Send me the information. I like that.
All right then. Thank you
nice.
very much. And
Keep it going.
I will.
Nice.
All right. I am also aware of there are persons who looked on in Canada, in the UK, sorry. They may not be able to stay up with us all this hour, but when they come on in the morning time, for them, they lock on and they enjoy the program. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, pleasant good night again, Pastor Google.
Hi.
I was listening to the female caller a while ago, and she replied to the caller who was speaking about the handouts from the CPEP. Before people get so derogatory on CPEP, I'd like to share experience what is currently happening now in Superior. So when CPEP workers were excommunicated from their work or fired, right? I spoke to a lady this morning who sells breakfast, lunch, a little cafeteria, and she says some of her customers, well, majority of the first set of people in the morning is CPEP workers. So she said she would have lost about nearly 15 customers because it's two different gangs of people used to come and support her business. So she has lost that. Also, people who have little parlors, right? They are all noticing a drop of sales. Today, I even spoke to a friend of mine who works in a variety store in Penal area. She was telling me the place is dead. Now, it may not say what I'm saying is true, but when you have mass firings that on the lower end, right, it causes a domino effect for small businesses because these people, the CPEP people, make a contribution to the financial upgrade of our country. In other terms, they keep the monetary money flowing through the system, right? So one of the processes, I know that CPEP workers were allowed to even go in courts to purchase furniture and fittings to suit their homes. We don't know if they and all might have a drop in sales eventually too, but it's a slow process. I'm not saying it happening overnight, but it's trickling right now, and people are feeling the effects because this is what has happened. The CPEP workers, they encourage smaller businesses to flourish. So that is my contribution there. It's a sad note, but have a good night again.
Thank you very much. And what the caller is saying is very true, eh? Very, very true. You hear it when you're walking around, and you hear it from taxi drivers, you hear it from shop owners, you hear people saying it. You're hearing people saying it. The reality of it is that since the CPAP workers are no longer working and coming out early in the morning, buying breakfast, doing this, doing that, the people are seeing it. You see, there's a video, I don't know how many of you saw the video of a gentleman in Shogunas. And the gentleman in Shogunas was saying, hey, what going on in this country? What going on in this place? The man made it really clear. He said, you know what's going on? What's going on in this country? Hello, good evening.
Hi, good night. Who's the fault of that? I'm looking for Farrell Harry. They try to defend Farrell Harry and them who use black poor people for their own benefit. See, Papa, you're happy the board open on that Thursday there, so people will go back to work. We're looking for Farrell Harry.
So from since they close it to now, till when people will get back to work, but when? When they will get back to work, caller, seeing that Faris, or they're looking for Faris. Or they're looking for Faris, or they're not looking for Faris. Or they're not looking for Faris. But because I heard on the news tonight, Faris would have spoken to the media. You understand? Or they're trying to corrupt the case. That's what they're trying to do. Or they're trying to make people talk before time, beforehand, to corrupt the case. All they don't talk about the contractor who only pay. They won't talk about that though. Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon, Pastor. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good evening.
I don't know with that about some story because I don't know where them pests coming out. Pastor?
Yeah?
Yeah, we have about story because I don't know where them pests coming out.
Yeah,
but give me a break, Mr. Win. Give me a break. There's an Iowa station. Give me a break, Mr. Win. Anyhow, that being said, Pastor, you see, Dr. Rowley left office. He had no scandal when he left office. So what said that create one? Because Dr. Rowley had no scandal that Dr. Rowley left office. In fact, he didn't take no money. He didn't take no car. He didn't take nothing. He left and he went back in his own house, his own life. Now they're looking for a scandal. Or he sharing a passport. Okay, I think, come on. The man has no scandal. The man enter clean and leave clean. You see how much of them get sell, Pastor? Pastor?
I don't know.
The man enter clean and leave clean. So he have no back behind him. So what expect? That create one, or try and create one. Because there is no, the man leaves clean and enter clean. He left office, everything intact, money day, everything they can do, everything I want to see the head place I relaxing. Now it's gonna see if you check a passport. How much I come a passport? You don't know what you're checking out? But you know what? Yeah, you know how I black man because I don't know what Dr. doing. Let me see this man. The man go on and the city man.
Yep.
You can understand that, the man go on and them slay the man.
Yeah, they still eat him.
Like them find the man is too cool. The man not the man not he go on anyway. Them slay the man. So where was it? You're police man I'm fighting. The man exactly on this screen. Anyhow, let me make some space. The pastor we have some space because we get some pests. Mr. Win, give you a chance now. One sweet. Later.
Yeah, man. Yeah. They can't leave me alone. That's the problem. They can't leave me alone. Only have only whole station for yourself now. Only have only whole... Anyway, the person tell me to answer them. Don't say anything. Leave them alone. All right, I wouldn't answer, and I will leave them alone. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Wogo.
I just came inside and turned on the phone and so you're still here.
But I don't understand you. We're talking about the Do you think that Dr. Rowley deserve or the country deserve a proper investigation into this situation with Dr. Rowley?
Of course, because you know what? I heard a man this morning call a particular radio station and say, but wait now, here the question, how come you have a diplomatic passport? I said, well, wait now. A big old man like you don't know why the Prime Minister or the former Prime Minister have a diplomatic passport. That is why he's called a former Prime Minister. So, Pastor Google, you see, this hate that we're talking about, Dr. Rowley gone, and they still hate. When you have a platform, or how to put it, you have a mountain to look up to that that is their problem, you know, Pastor Google. They have to try to emulate, to surpass what Dr. Rowley did by inheriting a man who tell you we had the money to run the country for 3 days. So how will you sustain a budget of 63 billion, Pastor Google, and you run it for 10 years? And we still in. You understand my point?
Yeah, loud and clear.
So they have a hard platform to stand up on. So the only thing that they could do is try to sway the public to carry. But I sure when we talk corruption, Mamu jump on a plane and go on, OAS, pay, all that corruption they're talking about. I ain't see they able to bring anybody to court, you know. Corruption in CPEC, 40-something people, but they send home the 300 contractors. But how you in charge? You understand my point? So when are we going to wake up? They have nothing to stand up on. Because they're going to the 100 day, you know. And the Prime Minister presently, but look like she gone into isolation or she gone into a crisis status, like she going to get redeemed or reform or they're going to inject she to breathe new breath of life that she could come back. I know. All of a sudden she did disappear, but you know, Pastor Google has something to ask. I remember the last time that lady was Prime Minister for the first 100 days. She stayed at a particular house. And?
Yeah.
Right. And after that, a man get a contract to pull fuel in.
Yes.
And that big gender. I want somebody to tell me, this Rockhard, who made the arrangement for Rockhard to come to Trinidad? Anybody can tell me? Because somebody telling me it happened under the past administration. I want to know. Please. And then I could understand why she stay home again. So I end up with another, if that is the case, and Rockhard came due to how you understand my point I'm making, brother?
I'm listening.
So I want somebody to tell me, was Rockhard invited under the previous administration, or Rockhard get a special invitation in less than 2 weeks? Enjoy your night, sir.
Before you go,
uh-huh.
I see where I'm a minister in the ministry of housing. I don't know if you saw the video where he's saying that they're going to lock up forests, this government going and lock up for. Every time I hear them talk about this government going and lock up this one and this government going and lock
Who
up.
you talking about? The man with the $1.4 million Mercedes-Benz issue?
No.
Who is the Minister of Housing, boy?
I tell you, he's the minister in the Ministry of Housing.
The Minister in the Ministry of Housing.
He said that they're going to lock up and 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 they're going to lock up this one. He said, he said the UNC government. That's what he said. He said that the UNC government are trying to find it to play it for you. That's what I'm trying to do.
A former minister under which administration?
He is not a former. Why do you not?
President.
You know, listen.
No, but they had to find the 850 million first in houses.
Well,
the former minister, he had to find the $850 million in houses that we can't find yet, and then they could come to talk about lockup. So who would they want to lock up? I don't think Paris Al-Rawi was a minister of housing.
No, you don't listen to what I'm saying. All right. When you call the phone, listen to me on the phone and you hear what I'm saying.
All right, no problem.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm saying is that there is a video of a minister in the Ministry of Housing. He is a minister in the Ministry of Housing. So listen to me again. There is a minister. There's 3 ministers in the Ministry of Housing. One of the ministers said that the UNC government is going to lock up people. They're going to lock up people who are on the other side, and they're going to lock up contractors, and they're going to... My question is, yes, person on the live, you're putting the name right. You put the right name. You put the right name. I wish I could get that video. To play that video now, before I come off the live, of Philip saying that they're going to lock up people. He said they're going to lock up. We're going to lock up. And I am like, really? Are we serious? Since when? I want somebody to answer me that. Since when? But you see, it ain't hard for me to understand, you know. It is not hard for me to understand at all. Because if the commissioner of police could take directive from the cabinet, then I could understand why the minister could make the statement. No, it's not a video. It's not a video. It's a video with him behind some with the PDP plaque. I'm trying to find out. If I find that video, I'll really appreciate it. I wonder if anybody could find that video for me. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Google.
Good evening.
Yeah. I wonder if plenty of us could look through some of the smoke that burning plenty of our eyes, have us seeing mirage in front of our face, and understand international politics, foreign policies of foreign government, and understand its effect on individuals worldwide. We're not paying attention. You're seeing something happening in your neighbor's backyard. People getting fired recklessly. People getting deported recklessly. And strange enough, the people here in our country, mirroring that same sentiment. You fire CPEP, you fire this, you fire that. You're talking about sending home so and so and so. You want to introduce something similar to the right to bear arms. Something similar. It's not for every citizen. It's just for those who they personally choose. And you know they will choose it if they could all go and give the police commissioner directive. You know that they could choose. So we had to start open our eyes and look at the reality of world politics. Plenty of people don't study the history. They don't understand what type of passage they came through to arrive in this life we live in now. every day. You can imagine. This World Bank system used to be the tool of these people who want to control other countries. So if you see another country develop some economic resilience against that, they start using additional methods, destabilization, demonization, influencing other individuals to become corrupt within these jurisdictions that they have interest in. And you can't say they don't have interest here, because if it is that they could use you to forward their goals, believe me, they will use you. So people are studying what's taking place here, but they ain't opening their eyes to see the real thing. They're only looking at the smoke screen. Get wise before you end up meeting your demise. Get wise, Trinidad and Tobago. These people already have you on a journey that you're not going to enjoy at all, at all, at all. We may just have to do the walk like Dr. Rowley had when they walked to Shagaramas. We might have to do that because this thing is endemic. These people serious about destabilizing this country. All right. You want something, you just do all kind of things. Yeah, look at how the criminal element running rampant now because they know the bodies are wrong. But Mr. Google, you'll keep the faith and stay strong. Pass the knowledge down. Let us see if we can find a way through this battlefield that is before us. Right? Citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, don't stay complacent. Right? Don't procrastinate when you need to step forward and speak up against this evil that is amongst us right now. Our children's future depends on it.
All right.
I'll have a good.
Thank you very much.
That Farris pressured him to change contracts terms without.
That is no I want. I want the one where he was talking about HEC, but apparently he pulled it down. He pulled it down because I sure no, but no. Here now, Olia. I am telling Olia, I saw the video. Juliet sent the video for me. I saw that video with him with a set up PDP thing behind him, and he talking and he saying the government, this UNC coalition, this UNC, whatever government will lock up people. HEC, we come in, we will lock up people. I say about it now. You give yourself some liberty, boy. You go lock up people? Eh? Really? I really wanted to see that video. I really want to play that video tonight, you know. But he pulled it down. He pulled it down. Because I'm watching for it here. And I'm looking to see if I find it. But he pulled it down. He take down that video. He take down that video. Is it here? No, that's not it. Nah, he take it down. He take it down earlier. Wow. Well, let's see the seriousness. Yeah, because it once I've vexed I didn't screen record that video, boy. A real vexed I didn't screen record it, you know. A real vexed I didn't screen record because that video would have showed them up. That video would have showed them up. Wow, boy, I didn't screen record that. Them is things to screen record. Anyway, what's the time now? All right, I'll stay until 11 o'clock. It's now what? 10:56. So I'll stay until 11. All right, I'll stay until 11. What is that? It seems as though he removed the video. He removed that video. Yeah, I'm vexed I didn't screen record that video. I'm vexed I didn't screen record that video. Juliet sent me that video. Juliet said, Google, look how this man putting up the commissioner of police. Look at how this man putting up the commissioner of police and boasting, that they go lock them up. Gosh, boy. Anyway, I want to say something to you guys who are on the live. I want you all to subscribe, please. Subscribe to the page.
Brown Eyes Promotion presents We Outside Tobago Carnival 3, October 24th to 27th, an all-inclusive package, inclusive of breakfast, lunch, and accommodations. Smith Drive, Lowlands, Tobago, opposite Gulf City Mall. Limited spots. Book yours now. Call 713-4029. Accommodation options: 1 bedroom with a kitchenette, 2 beds, up to 4 people, or 2 bedrooms self-contained, 6 people max, queen size, plus single beds. Check-in time 2:30 p.m. Check out 11 a.m. Limited spots available. Prices with breakfast and lunch: $2,000 per person. Breakfast only $1,700 per person. Half payment due by July 31st. Pay off by September 30th. Non-refundable. Payment plans available. For more info and to book your spots, call 713-4029. We Outside Tobago Carnival 3 from October 24th to 27th. All courtesy Brown Eyes Promotion. We do not own the copyrights for the song playing in the background.
Yep. So I want to thank Brown Eyes Promotions for advertising on Constructive Talk. And remember, you could find them on, and you get all the information. So take down the number, make sure and take down the number and get in contact with them. Remember, you can contribute to Constructive Talk. I need all your you see all the hiccups I get today? Yeah. I want to tell you, I need a laptop. Let me tell you straight up. I need a laptop. Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon, Pastor. Pastor, I too saw that video with that individual. And I too was shocked because I don't know.
You didn't screen record it, by?
Huh?
Those are things we need to screen record and we need to keep in our archives.
I even know what happened with that. I thought I was home. I was in my car driving. My brother showed me this. I didn't see it, but I wish I did, but anyhow. And I was saying that why don't people still campaigning? We go and look up. You have 2 men. You have two other guys had 2 other men had the same job. Are you telling people we go and look up people? What is wrong with you? You okay? Why you have like you bipolar so all the time?
Boy.
One is not honest. One is not is honest. Like 2 of them bipolar. Who you go and look up? You got a job. You have 2 of them men getting the same salary for doing the same thing. You have no kind of shame. You talk about you go and look up so what? What about matter?
No, man.
According to about you see when you step in an arena and you realize how big that show is, and you realize you can't fill that. Distractions, you can't shut people for 5 years.
Yeah.
You can't blow smoke for 5 years. You can't run a country and control.
No.
You can't disappear a university all it's a specialist. Let's just young the quiet so I'm only child specialist. You hear that? Understand?
Yeah.
You don't hear that, no? You hear all of them. You want to know what I feel. They want to too much quiet for them.
Well, I must give him credit. Today he spoke about the wife of one of the junior ministers Who got a ball appointment?
Especially. One thing before I go past, you know, I'm observing that government have about 4 or 5 different union individuals. I'm not also so pictures because people don't pay dues. They know you want.
Right.
Pastor?
Yeah, well, that's what it is. That's what it is. But
apparently, so because people don't pay union dues, they know human beings because it's about 4 or 5 different union individuals in that party, and I hear nothing from them.
Well, this one man says collateral damage.
Yeah, well, yeah, one from Bangladesh say is collateral.
You see one who say collateral damage. You see one who say collateral damage. Is the same one who say his wife is qualified to be on a board.
You see me and then I will tell you. I will tell you because all that because people don't pay dues, they know human beings.
No.
What kind of sentence are going?
Yeah, man. Thanks very much. So I need a laptop. Why I need the laptop? Because I need a laptop because I want to download OBS or I want to download vMix and I want to be able to show you all the videos and I want to be able to show you all, play for you all properly what is really going on. Right? So I tell you only what I want. I tell you only what I need. I thought that today I tried it on a laptop, but the laptop is too old. The laptop is from 1986. The laptop too old. So I need a laptop in order to do what I do best. So to all my listeners in Canada, all my listeners in the UK who will be listening to this after, all my listeners in Trinidad and Tobago, all my listeners in New York, contact me now. 464. If you don't get me on the phone, leave a message on WhatsApp. 464-7003. Leave a message on Facebook. All right? And let's get a laptop for Constructive Talk. All right? Let's get a proper laptop for Constructive Talk. And when we get a laptop, we will be in a gear. We will be in a gear. All who say yeah, put some thumbs up before I leave quickly. If you agree with me that you're going to support me to get a laptop. Right? If you agree with me that I should get a laptop, put some thumbs up. So watching to see all who putting the thumbs up for me if you believe that I should get a laptop to do this thing properly. Put some thumbs up in the chat now.
We don't want someone always thinking smart. No, that's not a leader at all. At all. One who always fools drinking alcohol. No, that's not a leader at all. At all, no Casanova, always chasing skirts. No, that's not a leader at all. At all, and if it's the treachery.
So those of you who are on the live and you're putting your thumbs up, I am looking forward to hearing from you. You can WhatsApp me on 464-7003. 464-7003. So those of you who are willing to support me on YouTube, you can contact me on the number that is rolling on the screen. 464-7003. I need a good laptop to do what I really want to do. All right? I really need a laptop. ASAP. I need a laptop like yesterday.
Here at home and especially abroad, they don't have to be a lawyer or doctor. Their first degree should be common sense. And when it's time to decide, you cannot run, you cannot hide. A firm stand he must take, don't sit on the fence. Because a leader cannot drift like sinking sand. A good leader, by the courage of his convictions, he should stand. A good leader, and a leader can't bend with every wind that passes. A good leader, to his values and principles, hold fast. A good leader, oh yes, a leader should be confident and competent. For what?
So let me say thank you to the 2,259 persons who viewed Constructive Talk this evening. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. To the persons on Facebook, thank you all very, very much for being a part of Constructive Talk. And please consider helping me to get a proper working laptop so that I can show the videos. I could do Zoom. So when I have a proper working laptop, I can do Zoom and get people like Mr. Manning on, other persons on, so that they will be alongside me and you will hear them and see them and feel them than me doing phone calls. So those of you who are listening to me on YouTube, please reach out to me. 464 7003. 464 7003. Touch base, send a message. As I said, to those of you who listen in Canada, those of you who listen in the UK, I know that those of you in the UK will log on after. Touch base with me now so that I can get a proper functioning working laptop. Right? So that we can do this thing properly. Alright? So I want to thank you guys again for being with me on Constructive Talk. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Please God, tomorrow is Wednesday. Tomorrow I'm going to see if I can get my brother from Tobago to come on and share with us what's going on in Tobago. So I'm seeing all the thumbs up on YouTube. Hey, there's somebody watching from Florida. Florida, touch base with me. I need a laptop. Yes, I beg again, I need a laptop. So thanks again for being on the live. Talk to you guys tomorrow, please God.
And then mobilize.